Hi there, welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Last time we left off with Madame Tuspel's testimony, and needless to say, it was pretty interesting, but now it's time to try and press and figure out where to go from here, because as far as I know, I didn't really see any obvious, lie or contradiction, so perhaps we'll have to figure out more as we go through the in detail,
Hold it!
One second. Sorry, I had to adjust something. And that rumor would be a 10-year-old tale now, but one that's no Londoner would ever forget. Aha, right. I know just what you're talking about, I think. Oh, of course. It couldn't be anything else. Haha, yes, that story will never disappear. The tale of the condemned killer rising from the dead. That is the central attraction of my house of horrors. The rumor was whispered all over the city, and it was like this. Yep, we do remember this part when Sholmes was telling us about it. It was in Lowgate Cemetery, behind the prison, in the dead of night after the execution of the killer. The interred professor slid back the stone slab covering his tomb and emerged from his grave. Again, I'm curious if that's what actually happened, by the way, or, because, people don't just normally come back from the dead, as far as I know. Then again, maybe he was buried alive, But then again, they hung him, so I feel like they would have, checked that. Oh, a young man who witnessed this felt a scream welling up inside him. But an instant later, he heard an ear-splitting gunshot from over his shoulder. Yeah, this part's pretty weird too, because we, Sholmes didn't tell us this part. The bullet struck the emerging corpse, and he fell motionless once more. Okay, well maybe he wasn't, if he came back to life, he wasn't exactly a corpse anymore, now was he? Are you telling me no one, tried to investigate, or, figure out what the hell, who shot the guy, The scream finally found its way from the mouth of the young witness, who turned and ran for his life. The corpse climbed out of his own grave? Come on, okay, Herlock told you that part, Ryunosuke. I remember that before. And then somebody shot him? Who? Who was it? Well, that part, I feel like, is probably a mystery still. Nobody knows, even today. But remember, it was just a rumor. Perhaps nothing more than a ghost story. Haha. The good people of London, they love stories like this. That is why it was in every newspaper across the capital. Capital. But was it just a story? I mean, this is exactly the scene that can be seen today at your museum, isn't it? Ah, oui. The special exhibit was modeled on that very illustration. For a while afterwards, the contents of that article were reproduced in every newspaper imaginable. Madame, might I say something? Please, go ahead, mademoiselle. When something is described as a rumor, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's entirely made up. I believe that often, rumors contain elements of the truth. Aha, I see that people from the East can be just as astute as the people of Europe. Yeah, see? What Susato is, super astute. That should be her middle name. Astuto. Can we be sure, for instance, that the professor's execution was successful? I don't know, can we? It is not possible for the dead to come back alive. Sorry? What? You mean necromancy isn't real? I don't know about that one, Madame. 10 years ago, I was there in Lowgate Cemetery. After the criminal known as the Professor was killed by hanging. I took a wax impression of his visage from the corpse just before it was interred. So I can assure you, the man was dead. Huh. I guess so. I guess that clears that up. Quite curious indeed. It would certainly appear that the condemned man suffered the intended fate. What do you guys think say to that, Manzeeks? And also your apprentice, who still hasn't said a word this whole time. Okay, yeah. I feel like this is kind of a crime, by the way. But, hey, at least he's being honest and open, you know? Like, hey, and we didn't have to, like, beat the truth out of her. Is that true of every waxwork in your museum, then? It is. Assuming the subject is dead, of course. Live subjects have to cooperate in a similar way. I have letters from imprisoned criminals all the time, you know. What sort of letters? When my time comes, police make a waxwork of me. Comme ça. No. My museum is famous, monsieur. To be made into a waxwork is an honor, and for some criminals, a symbol of status even. Because nothing says hardened criminal better than wax. Hey, I mean, it's a way of being remembered, you know? And if her exhibit is really that big of a deal, you know? It's like, where else are they going to be featured? The fucking Louvre? And it is thanks to one killer in particular that my museum has gained such popularity in London. I refer to the star of the special exhibit, of course. The Professor. Whose form you claim to have captured by taking an impression from the actual corpse. There are no exceptions to the principles of two spells. I enlisted the aid of the gravedigger and created a mold for the head in the cemetery just before the interment.
Hold it!
Surely that's illegal, isn't it? Yeah, that's kind of my concern. It would seem the proprietress of this repository of novelties was blinded by monetary greed. It had nothing to do with money. The man is part of London's criminal history. That is why I had to sculpt him, to record this history. It is the raison... fuck, I don't know how you pronounce that. It is the raison d'etre. The raison d'etre... I don't know. Of the Taspels Museum. But if the man was convicted in a closed court and sent for an immediate execution, then surely nobody but the members of the judiciary present know the killer's true identity. I assure you, behind that mask is hidden the true face of the Professor. You realize what you're saying? The Professor's identity is a national secret. I understand. And now that the truth about this special exhibit has been revealed, it must perhaps close. Of course it will. As will your entire museum, if you don't tread very carefully, madame. That could be another interesting chapter in the history of my family, I think, don't you? So 10 years ago, on the night of the professor's execution, you took a wax impression of his face from the corpse. Oui, exactement. And again, you did it at like 16 years old, which is pretty wild.
Hold it!
Oh, I bet you were. I mean, making a whole mold out of a dude's head, I mean, it's not something you do in like 30 minutes, I assume. You were there longer than you expected to be, rather. I had some difficulties in capturing the subject's form correctly. As I removed the mask, the mouth of the cadaver fell open. and I had some problems with the chin. Oh no. It's kind of gruesome. Also, yeah, so I guess he was wearing that mask initially. I guess to hide his identity, but still. But dare I ask? The man had been dead for a short while already, you see. His muscles were relaxing, and consequently, his chin would not align itself correctly. Wait, let me make sure I got that right. Oh, wait. His mouth fell open. I thought, like... I don't know, I interpreted that to mean, like, it just, like, fell off. Like, half his... And that's where the problems with the chin came in. But yeah, no, that's, like... Not quite rigor mortis. I thought rigor mortis was when it, like... Your muscles, like, lock in place. Not, like, sag open, but... Okay, anyway. Oh, dear. What a horrible thought. Under normal circumstances, I would have an assistant with me. However, that night, I was alone, and as a consequence, I missed my preferred window of time. What do you mean? When I take the impression of a visage of a cadaver, I always wait until 3 hours after death. Why 3 hours? Is that amount of time significant? It is because of rigor mortis. Yeah, see? So, I knew that would come up at some point. A wriggly mortis? Oh, yeah, I guess Ryunosuke probably wouldn't be... isn't that familiar with, dead stuff. It's the name given to a phenomenon that occurs in recently deceased bodies. As a rule, 3 hours post-death, the muscles in the body begin to stiffen. By approximately 10 hours post-death, the entire body is completely rigid and inflexible. And then from that point on, the muscles slowly start to revert to their relaxed state. Oh, so the rigor mortis happens first, and then they start to relax. The effect is often used to estimate the time of death when a body is discovered. Cool. I guess. Wait. So if his body had already been, if his muscles were already loosening, wouldn't that meant he'd been dead for longer than 3 hours? Well, that was an education, if a slightly scary one. As a mademoiselle says, rigor mortis commences 3 hours after death, and it starts in the jaw. I see. So that's why you wait. Before that time, the mouth falls open, and it is very difficult to do my work. Ugh. It's getting hard for me to do my work with all this talk of corpses. Yeah, you are kind of a weenie, Ryunosuke. I wonder about that information the courts just heard from Madame Spells. mean, it might be significant. I feel like it is significant to some extent. The information about rigor mortis that you just shared with us, would you mind including it in your formal testimony? I believe it could be significant, you see. Ah, of course. I do not mind at all. I can't help feeling that after this latest topic. The atmosphere in the courtroom has become extremely grave. Oh, I get it, Mr. Naruhodo. There's no time for jokes, Mrs. Otto. Madame, kindly amend your testimony as discussed. Bien, sir. Took me a very long time because it was before the onset of rigor. Wait, what? I'm sorry, didn't you say something about, I thought when Cesaro just said that the rigor mortis happens first, and then the muscles start to relax. Wait. So how long does it normally take you to make your sculpts? Because if you normally wait for like 3 hours, well, Okay, you know what? I'm gonna press. I feel like I'm a bit confused. Rigor mortis being the phenomenon that you described, whereby the corpse becomes stiff after death. I think you said that it starts at the jaw about 3 hours post-death. Is that right? Ah, oui. C'est ça. Of course, the exact duration depends a little on the season. I didn't realize a waxwork artisan would be so well versed in the subject. No, that is only elementary knowledge in the field of legal medicine. Well, I had no idea about it. Maybe I won't admit my ignorance about forensic science. Yeah, fake it till you make it, Ryunosuke. I could ask my father to give you a very simple primer, if you like. I think corpses should be your domain. I'm not good with them. Yeah, that's obvious. Oh dear. I'll do my very best.
Hold it!
But let's press this last statement first. Let's see. You say that dawn was approaching. What was the time of day then? Approximately. Well, I could not say. But when I left the cemetery with my utensils and wax, the morning light was becoming visible. The execution took place on 17th of June, which had the earliest sunrise of that year. Indeed it did. First light would have been around 4:40 in the morning. And 4:40 in the morning, that is an early sunrise. Yeah, that really is early. Yeah, see, you say it, Ryunosuke. The fact is, I had very little time, so I finished my work in an half-hour. It was necessary to complete the impression and bury the body before daybreak, of course. And so, okay, if you had to do it in like 30 minutes, can you really say it was a thorough recreation? You know, maybe it's like, you know, I don't know, like, I feel like you couldn't make a lifelike waxwork model in like 30 minutes. If somebody had discovered me there, it would have been a catastrophe. So I had to hurry. Is it me? Or does Mr. Sholmes? Does Mr. Sholmes seem to be taking shape more quickly now, too? You certainly appear to go to extraordinary lengths for your work, madame. I wonder, is what you just said, particularly significant? Presumably. Probably. They wouldn't... normally they'll just, like, give you the chance to add fake testimonies, or to add new statements to your testimony for, like, no reason, or, like, as, like, a, you know, like, a fake, right? I mean, it would be a way to make it trickier, right? Like, oh, you can... Well, sorry, there are a couple instances I can think of where you can add statements that aren't relevant, but when it's like a yes or no choice, you know, normally, yeah, you want to add it to the testimony, because it's relevant in some form or fashion. But, okay. Madam, those details about how long it took you to complete the sculpture and the early sunrise, could you include them in your testimony? I believe they may be significant. Of course, if you would like me to. Also, man, I gotta say, Sholmes does have quite the nice chin. At least you don't have to worry about his chin falling off. You're quite right, Mr. Naruhodo. It is intriguing. A sunrise at 4 in the morning would be absolutely unimaginable at home, wouldn't it? It's not quite what I meant by significant. Kindly amend your formal testimony then, madame. With pleasure, my lord. I hurried to finish my work in the half hour before sunrise, and then I left as soon as the corpse was interred.
Hold it!
Did you have reason to believe you might be discovered once the sun came up or something? I mean, maybe, but also, you don't want to risk it. Like, fucking around with corpses is normally a way to get in big fucky-wucky trouble, so better be safe than sorry. I had paid the gravedigger money to keep my little secret, of course. But with the morning light, I knew that the warden from the prison would commence his patrol of the area. Oh, okay. So I guess that explains it. Couldn't you just have paid off the warden too, then? I had already paid the gravedigger, as I said. You cannot buy the silence of everyone, or the secret is no longer a secret, huh? Well, yeah, I guess that's true. If everyone knows what you're doing, even if you're bribing them, you don't want too many cooks in the kitchen, so to speak. The sunrise was at 4:40 a.m. that day, which means that it would have been around 4 when you began your sculpting work. That must be correct. That would be when the gravedigger gave me the signal to come out of hiding. Very interesting testimony, to be sure. So, that's all I have to go on. Wait, we've seen this part before. Alright, so we pressed everything, got some new statements to work with, which is interesting. But, I don't know. Let's review our evidence. Or let's just review the statements first. Okay, this statement I don't think is inaccurate. I mean, that's just a basic truth. I assume that's true. I enlisted the aid of the gravedigger and created a mold for the head in the cemetery just before the interment. Yeah, I assume that happened. It took me a very long time because it was before the onset of rigor mortis, and then she had to hurry to finish her work in the half hour before sunrise. Then I left as soon as the corpse was interred. Okay, let's just double check. Okay, also, a question I would like to know is, was this like, I assume this well, wait, no. Okay, I'm trying to put my brain cells to work, to try and consider the sequence of events. Because, like, she said that she, the model was themed after this, and, the rumor thing, the exhibit itself is based off the rumor of Enoch coming across the professor rising from his grave. But this, okay, this makes it sound like she did it before he was even buried in the first place, So that's a bit strange. Like, I don't think that's I don't see a contradiction for that, but, Because, yeah, I'm pretty sure it was, they mentioned June 17th, right? Sorry, wrong button. Sorry. Okay, I meant to click R1, but... Come on, come on, yeah. So yeah, well, see, now I'm curious because there's two new statements. I hurried to finish my work in the half hour before sunrise. Then I left as the corpse was interred. So I mean, these could be a situation where I gotta present two things for both statements, or just one. You know. Bro, oh, duh, okay, duh, okay. I gotta pay attention. So yeah, this happened on the night of his execution. So like... now another question is coming into mind. If that happened on the night of the execution, and you were there, when it happened, did you see the professor rise from his grave? I don't think that's... I can go off of that, but... I assume that's the iron helmet it was wearing. The trophy, the camera... Oh, yeah, this was the camera that Enoch's model was wearing. Can I like extend it again? I need to consider. Oh yeah, I forgot there was fucking blood on the on the fucking camera for some reason. Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure it's blood. But also, okay, sorry, I'm kind of, again, trying to think real hard, but I don't know, just curious. Because, like, again, what they're saying about rigor mortis, like, Cesaro explained it as, it takes 3 hours for the body to stiffen, and then it relaxes again. Maybe that's the idea. And so, you know, the body had not undergone rigor mortis, so it was still all, like, flabby and stuff, I guess. But, you know what, on the other hand, since we're going to have to present some kind of evidence, like, the majority of this stuff does not seem relevant to, you know, to this particular testimony, besides either this article or the autopsy report. Because the other thing is, right, if he was dead by hanging on midnight, and, like, this illustration that was done, you don't look like he got a broken neck, now does he? You know? I mean, just saying. Okay, you know what, let's just... I got a few hearts I can fuck around with. Let's see what happens.
Objection!
Okay, I guess that wasn't right. Like, realistically, it only feels like there's a couple things it could be, because, like, none of this shit's gonna be relevant right now. Like, who cares about Ass Man when we're dealing with this professor business? Okay, let me try this.
Objection!
See? I knew it had to be one of two things, right? Or yeah, like, maybe it's a hanging thing, right? Maybe that's what he's gonna say. Hopefully that's what he's gonna say. But on to spells. I have here an autopsy report that was filed 10 years ago now. It confirms the death of the professor following his execution at the gallows. And is that the problem? I believe it is. Because your testimony, and a particular... Wait. It's not the fact he didn't look obviously hung. It's the fact that if the hanging took place at midnight, then that means like the 3-hour span in which rigor mortis would have onset. That would have been like one. Yeah, it would have had rigor mortis would have onset by like 3 a.m. that night, and you were there at like 4. So, yeah, that's what we call a motherfucking contradiction in the business of lawyering. Completely contradict one another. Quoi? Are you going to explain yourself, my Nipponese friend? According to her testimony, Madame Dispels was creating her wax impression just before dawn. And at that time, rigor mortis had not yet set in. Am I correct so far, Madame? Ah, you are, yes. As I said, the stiffening of the jaw is the first sign of rigor mortis, 2 to 3 hours after death. But the man's chin was limp, so it could not have been dead for a long time. But on the other hand, if you look at Dr. Sai's report, it quite clearly states the following. Death by hanging confirmed at midnight, the 17th of June. No. If the professor indeed died at midnight that day, then by the time you were sculpting his face, rigor mortis would already have set in. Oui, yes, you're right. The chin, it would have been completely stiff. In other words, this report is wrong.
Objection!
No coroner makes mistakes when recording the time of death. The very idea is absurd. In that case, there's only one possible conclusion. The execution didn't actually take place at the stated time. Oh shit. Yeah, I guess that's true. And that would mean that the autopsy report was poo-poo, stinky, uh-oh, forgery, bad, no. Impossible! Order! Order! Counsel, this is beyond folly. Not only do you indict the author of the report, Dr. Scythe, but you also implicate members of staff at Barclay Prison where the execution took place. By heck, extraordinary. My day. There, I'm old. My learned friend appears to have overlooked one very crucial fact. What fact? The professor died that night, without question. He did! Of course he did! I moved the man's limp jaw with my own hands!
Objection.
There was no... Yes, the professor died that night. Okay, granted. But what if he didn't die at the gallows? Didn't die at... Are you insane? What? What exactly are you suggesting did happen in that case? It's almost impossible to believe, but it would explain the link between Dr. Scythe, the professor, and that one other person of interest. I have evidence that will explain exactly what I'm suggesting happened that night. Oh yeah, we do we? Haha, okay. Counsel, present the evidence at once. The evidence that allegedly explains what really happened on the night of the professor's execution. Okay, well, I mean, this part about the fucking homie being shot, like, did no one, like, stop to investigate this part of things? Like, if someone was dead, and then they got shot, and they died again, like, my point is, if he was dead and rose from his grave, then I feel like a bullet would not have killed him any more than being hanged would have killed him, you know? So, like, I don't know, I just feel like this warranted further investigations, I would say. But then again, I'm not sure if I can just present it. Well, maybe I can present this now. I don't know. But, either way, this episode's going a little touch long, so I'm going to wrap it up for now. As you can tell, things are getting pretty spicy, not gonna lie. It seems like there was some kind of subterfuge, perhaps a little fraud, a little cover-up even, you know? A little cover-up as a treat. And it would connect everyone involved. Fucking Dr. Scythe, Mr. Enoch, and you know, also why it had to be why this in the current time, mind you, that they had to use the waxwork model of the professor, you know. But I'm still not connecting all the pieces, but we're definitely getting there. We're making good progress, and hopefully I won't end up being a fool of myself in the next episode. But until then, I'll see you around.